Hi, Wesley. Welcome to the season of Lent, the season of 40 days, not including Sunday, so a little more than 40 days leading up to Easter. It's a season where the church invites us to do some introspection, some looking at ourselves and the things that are keeping us from God, either the things that are that we're doing that are keeping us from God that we should give up, or maybe some things that we should take on to help us grow more deeply in our walk with God and our faith. But today is Ash Wednesday. It's the first day of this season, and it's a time when normally we would gather together and we would receive ashes traditionally made from burning the palm branches from Palm Sunday the year before. And we receive those on our face or our foreheads rather, with the sign of the cross, with the words, "Remember that you are dust, and to dust you shall return. Repent and believe the gospel." And because of dust, I asked you if you would to bring a little dirt with you today. And it's because in Genesis 2, when God's creating humanity, it tells us, the Bible tells us that God scoops up the dirt and forms it into the shape of a human and blows God's spirit, God's breath, into this ball of dirt, and human life begins. Um, the reason I bring that up today, the reason I invite you to take this dirt and take a look at the dirt, maybe run your fingers through it, it's because so often the things that keep us from growing closer to God is when we forget our role, that we're part of creation. We're not the creator, we're not God, but we're made in God's image. We're made by God's love. We're made to be about God's love. We're part of the creation. We're made in the image of God, so we're called to be about the things that God is about, but we're not God. So it doesn't all depend upon us. And when we get that right, that we're called to be about the things of God, but it ultimately does not depend on us, well, that can free us for incredible things in our life, and incredible ways to participate in God's work. On this Ash Wednesday, I want to read you a prayer. It's kind of attributed to the Saint Oscar Romero, or at least it's in his honor. It's not actually believed that he wrote this, but it kind of sums up who he was as he advocated for the poor in El Salvador. Just hear this prayer as you begin this Lenten season. Go ahead and take a look at your dirt as you hear these words and remind yourself, hey, I'm not God, but I am God's creation. It helps now and then to step back and take a long view. The kingdom is not only beyond our efforts, it's even beyond our vision. We accomplish in our lifetime only a tiny fraction of the magnificent enterprise that is God's work. Nothing we do is complete, which is a way of saying that the kingdom always lies beyond us. No statement says all that could be said. No prayer fully expresses our faith. No confession brings perfection. No pastoral visit brings wholeness. No program accomplishes the church's mission. No set of goals and objectives includes everything. This is what we are about. We plant the seeds that one day will grow. We water seeds already planted, knowing that they hold future promise. We lay foundations that will need further development. We provide yeast that produces far beyond our capabilities. We can't do everything, and there's a sense of liberation in realizing that. This enables us to do something, and to do it very well. It may be incomplete, but it is a beginning, a step along the way, an opportunity for the Lord's grace to enter and do the rest. We may never see the end results, but that is the difference between the master builder and the worker. We are workers, not master builders, ministers, not messiahs. We are prophets of a future, not our own. And friends, I pray that God will work in your hearts through this prayer to liberate you, knowing that you don't have to do everything. That's not our calling. In fact, that's sometimes what trips us up most in living out lives of faithfulness. Maybe that's something we need to give up for Lent, this notion that we can be in control and that it all depends upon us. But look into that dirt. Remember that you are dust. You are part of God's good creation. You're called to be part of redeeming creation. But it doesn't depend upon you. May that free you to do something, and to do it very well for the sake of God's kingdom, both in the season of Lent and for the rest of your lives. May God's peace be with you this Ash Wednesday.